it's been taken away from us, but that's another story. Right across from me, right on the other side of this camera, is the courthouse. This was the first capital of New York State that the Constitution of New York was written. 4 Supreme Court justices were jurors there, including John Jay. 90% of America's Constitution came from the Constitution from colonial Kingston, New York. We're bringing back democracy. The seeds of democracy was sown here, and 6 words killed it. Harvard, Princeton, Yale, bullets, bombs, and banks. And the first criminal, may he rot in hell, who sold us out was the Princeton president, Woodrow Wilson, who not only gave us the Federal Reserve, he also put us into World War I against everything that this nation believed in.
And I was just about to bring that up.
Look who's running the show now.
I was going to bring that up, Gerald.
Guys.
That's when we got into our first big foreign entanglement after we had developed our sovereignty, was World War I. And that was the beginning of this long slide of being beholden to the Federal Reserve, being beholden to giant banks who aren't elected. It's just and the giant military-industrial complex now that they get paid either way, whether we win the war or lose the war, or whether we continue the war. They're making their money, and I guess the people working in that industry are getting paid, but it's not anything that's producing anything. It's not a space industry. We've pretty much given that up for a couple rockets now that can't even get off the ground. It's just a disgrace that we can build these amazing weapons that can be fired from 20, 30 miles away, can pinpoint a house, and yet we can't get rockets off the ground now. I mean, it's a total disgrace.
People can't pay their water bills.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. So Occupy, I mean, you nailed it. So that's what we're saying. And again, I really want to stay with this Harvard, Princeton, Yale. I'm tired of these arrogant people, all in politics, telling us what to do and how to do it. Go up and down the list. The program is there. They're all club members, whether it's the D.C. gang or the Wall Street criminal operation. It's the same club, and we're not in it. So what we're doing with Occupy Peace is going back to the roots of democracy, believing in the founding fathers. Oh, and by the way, another man, not like these little boys in the White House that we've had, the Clintons, Bushes, and Obamas. A real man, Eisenhower, in his farewell address, warns the nation that the military-industrial complex is robbing us of the future of the children, the sweat of the laborers, and the genius of the scientists. And you nailed it with these high-class weaponry that they're making. Could you imagine if those trillions were invested in we, the people? So Occupy Peace, the motive is no foreign entanglements, rebuild America, and here's where it's going to be different from anywhere of any rally ever seen before. We're going to give takeaways. This isn't a thing to go, yeah, and then you go home and forget about it. We're putting together a battle plan for peace, because I would rather fight for peace than die for war. And I'm not a pacifist, as you well know.
You're a close combat practitioner. Exactly.
I'll kill anybody that tries to kill me.
I totally agree. Hey, let's end here on the Trends Journal. You have this Cycles of History. Why don't you give people a quick history lesson of the different stages that societies go through, and what stage are we in right now?
Them. You got them there in front of you.
I got them in front of me. I got the warrior stage, the intellectual stage, the merchant stage, and the chaos stage. Now, where are we at right now?
We're in the chaos stage.
All right.
As I said, the warriors are gone. The intellectuals were the founding fathers. These guys that are in place now know nothing about anything. We're in the chaos stage. And by the way, one of the things that I would love is for you, Alex Jones, and the crew to come to the Four Corners on May 2nd, 2015, and broadcast live for OccupyPeace.us. And anybody could go to that site, by the way, and sign up, because our future is on the line. I'm a trend forecaster, and I believe in the trend, the prophecy that Einstein going back to the chaos theory of the cycles, Einstein said, I don't know how the third world war will be fought, but the fourth will be fought with sticks and stones. And that's where they're leading us. One losing war after another, and now they're getting big.
I totally agree. And it is a crazy world that we're becoming into, the chaos that we've created by taking down these evil dictators that were, essentially keeping the different tribes under control. Gaddafi, yeah, he was a socialist, but you know what? He was feeding his people. They had power. They were getting water. They were doing deals with the Chinese. He wanted to create an African Union. So what do? We take him out. Same thing with Saddam Hussein. Oh, yeah, we sold him weapons of mass destruction. He has weapons of mass destruction, so we got to go in and take him out. But, we don't talk about the weapons of mass destruction that we sold him. And then it came out that we found weapons of mass destruction there, but we didn't want to say anything about it because they had our stamp of approval on it. They were all made in the USA. So, of course, they're never going to mention that stuff. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And we keep buying into it. We keep buying into the next war. We buy into the next fake terrorist attack. It just continues on a cycle. And like you said, we are in the chaos stage right now in our history, and it's filled with drones and cameras. And guess what? We're all walking around with cameras. It looks like they're about to bring out Greg Abbott. Gerald, do you want to stay with us while they bring him out and comment on what's going on, or do you want us to let you go for the evening?
Why don't we let me go for the evening?
All right. Well, tell us where we can find more of the Trends Journal. And did you see Anthony Freda got his piece of artwork accepted, his 9/11 truth piece, into the 9/11 museum? Did you see that bit of news that was out there?
Isn't that great news? Yeah, Anthony Freda is great. Yeah, and of course he's an illustrator for us, and you guys use him as well. And I know he's been on with Alex. Trendsjournal.com, trendsjournal.com. It's the only place where you read history before it happens. And for all of those of you that want to fight for peace, bring home the troops, seal the borders, rebuild America, occupypeace.us, sign up, give us your comments, and let's turn this around. Let's bring it back to we the people and take it out of the hands of the gang of 535 that they call Congress.
All right, and I'll leave you with that. Gerald, thanks for everything you do. And anytime, we love having you on. You're a great breath of fresh air to just really just wake people up with some energy, A guy your age still out there screaming about the system and the way things should be and where we've gone wrong and everything else included. And thanks for joining us here on our live midterm election coverage. It was a pleasure having you on.
Thanks a lot for having me.
All right, there goes Gerald Celente. And you can find out more about him at trendsjournal.com. And it's a great magazine. It's got everything you need in there to figure out what the heck is going on in your world and why it seems like we can't figure it out. Like, why do we keep going into these wars? Why do we keep messing up? Why do we keep doing the wrong things? Is it on purpose? Usually it is. Usually it is on purpose. All this stuff is done by design. I want to go to a quick article here that Mikhail Thalen just released about an hour ago, maybe an hour and a half ago. We're into, looks like working on almost hour 4 of our live coverage of midterm elections. It looks like they're going to bring out Greg Abbott in a second. So I want to go over this article before he does. Hackers target NRA leader prior to Washington state gun control vote. So the head of the NRA's push of Initiative 594, Washington state restrictive gun control measure, says her phone and Facebook account were targeted by hackers only days before the election. Essentially, they came in and went after her Facebook, took away a lot of her members, then hacked her phone. Her phone started going crazy, and this was an exclusive that we got from Mikhail Thalen, one of our writers here at INFOWARS.com, putting this up. Just one of the many things you'll see on INFOWARS.com. And hey, while we're sitting here waiting for Greg Abbott coming out, I want to encourage people out there who are watching this live on YouTube or at INFOWARS.com/show. These streams, while they are free, at least the YouTube one we're not paying for, although they are putting their ads on it. And at INFOWARS.com/show, we do put a short ad in the beginning. A lot of this stuff is funded by the members of PrisonPlanet.tv. They're the people who pay a monthly subscription to have access to the live show video, the live nightly news, all of Alex's movies, special reports, books. I mean, just in the last 3 months, we've probably put 50 special reports up there that you're not going to see anywhere else. Stuff about Agenda 21, about fluoride in the water, a whole host of issues. And it's all there, and it's all thanks to your support at prisonplanet.tv. So while you're watching this, and next time we go to a break, I encourage you to become a member. You can also share your username and password with up to 11 people. So that's 11 Info Warriors for the price of one. You can get one membership, and then you can split it with your friends. And I think if you pay with a year, you even get more off, or you can pay for it by the month. But you do get 11 days free to try it out. Less than $5.95 a month, 15 days free. And there you go, $54.95 per year. And we do have specials that we run from time to time. But get in now. Become a member now of prisonplanet.tv and help us take this to the next level. Then we can hire more reporters. We can have more than just one reporter out at one location. We can have 10 reporters out at locations and just bring you up-to-the-minute news. This is how we're doing it. And I encourage you also, send us your tips to whistleblowers@infowars.com. That comes directly to my desk. I get to read through a lot of your tips, and it is an amazing wealth of information that we have, almost too much for one person to go through. But we've got the writers here. We've got writers at InfoWars.com. If you have a tip for them or a story that you've written, we do take stories from outside people. We also take outside special reports. If you go out there and shoot a report on something, say we had a guy, he sent me an email one time. He says, hey, you know, I was trying to get on the bus and pay for cash, and they were like mocking me for wanting to use cash. They made me run to the ticket booth and buy a ticket, and with a credit card. Then I had to come back with a special card and get on. And the guy had the change right there. He just didn't want to make the change anymore. This is part of what we're going through. It's this cashless society control grid that we're just going to be ingrained into in just a few years from now. A little bit later, we're going to be talking about the robots that are taking over your jobs. All you people out there crying for a raise in the minimum wage to this living wage, it's about to all come tumbling down. They're making robots that flip burgers better than you could ever do it. They're mixing ground beef live, cutting tomatoes as they need them. I mean, it's all coming down the pipe, and this is something you should be worried about. There's one right now. There's the big dog. Imagine that with a giant glowing skull face coming at you with giant blades. Watch this thing. It's going to take off in a second, and it's going to run you down. All right, this is what's coming down the pike, and it's scary. And these things are going to be autonomous. They're going to be able to think for themselves. They're going to be able to go, hey, you're not wearing the right color armband. We're going to come after you. It's coming down the pipe, people. So, you know, and the people wanting a higher minimum wage. Look, I had minimum wage jobs when I was in high school and out of high school, and even working through college, I worked minimum wage jobs. But I also gained skills, even the skills I gained outside of college. I was a theater major. I didn't know how to edit video. And then I moved down to Austin, Texas, and I wanted to be a director. And I went around trying to apply for these places. And they said, you know what? If you want to be a director, you better go out and do it for yourself. So I started shooting video on my own. I bought a camera, I bought a computer, taught myself Final Cut Pro. That is how you're going to get things done. You're not even going to really get things done going to college. I don't even use my degree, although it has probably opened some doors for me in some of the larger corporations I've worked for in the past. And it does look good on a resume. But it does drive you into debt. It took me till I was about 36 paying off the debt. Looks like we got Joe Biggs coming on right now. Is he ready to go? Is he ready to talk? Is he out there? Joe, how you doing? Oh, he's giving us the wink. And can you hear me, Joe? Do you have your earpiece in? Joe is live down at the Moody Theater right now. Can you hear me, buddy? Give me a thumbs up if you can read me loud and clear. All right. What's going on right now? What's the atmosphere like at the Moody Theater now that we bring in our new Lord Abbott, who's going to be coming on stage in a second? What's the scene like out in Austin, Texas?
Well, right now, everybody's having a good time. Everyone's having a beer or drink right now, kind of celebrating their victory right now. Right now, we are awaiting Greg Abbott to come up on the stage. They're getting some stuff ready for that. So within the next, I would think, 5 to 10 minutes, we should be expecting him out here. I've spoken to a few people. You know, Ted Cruz was up here a minute ago. He gave a very passionate speech for a while. Got a lot of people animated, talking about how the Republicans are going to vow to follow the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. And you know, you could hear some echoes back in the crowd of people yelling out to Ted Cruz, you know, run for president, things of that nature. You know, during his speech, I was yelling out, secure our borders, you know, stop Obamacare, and many things like that. So some of the people looked at me like I was crazy, but then some turned around, smiled, and shook their head, and they agreed with that. So far, high spirits are here at the Moody Theater.